Hello and welcome to the Common Core State Standards Initiative website, or corestandards.org. This is the home page for it, so here we have it kind of in three different distinctions. We have information that parents can access, information for teachers, and kind of information for everybody. Just kind of giving the historical background of Common Core, but for our intent and purposes, we're going to be clicking on this middle orange guy, and we're going to hit the read the standards. So that's going to load, and it's going to launch us to this page. So we have kind of a very brief overview of the standards here on the left, and kind of their mission statement that states, with students, parents, and teachers all on the same page and working together towards shared goals, we can ensure that students make progress each year and graduate from high school prepared to succeed in college, career, and life. Sounds pretty good. So we can see it's divided into mathematics standards and ELA literacy standards. We're going to be clicking into the ELA category. So I'm going to wait here just a moment for that to go. Great. So here we have another brief overview / mission statement for the ELA standards that reads, the Common Core asks students to read stories and literature as well as more complex texts that provide facts and background knowledge in areas such as science and social studies. So we can already see that kind of interdisciplinary aspect of Common Core. Students will be challenged and asked questions that push them to refer back to what they've read. This stresses critical thinking, problem solving, and analytical skills that are required for success in college, career, and life. So here on the right, we can see this kind of orange and goldenrod yellow chart, and this not only splits the information up in categories, but will also, like let's say if we click on reading and literature, it will separate it into grade level as well, just to keep things organized and easy to access. But we're going to start with introduction here, and we're going to look into key design considerations. So this will let you know, okay, kind of the plan, the design for the ELA Common Core. What does that exactly look like? So right now it gives us the CCR and grade-specific standards. The CCR stands for College and Career Ready Standards. So these are the ones that are going to get kids ready for those ELA classes in college and create just good skills in general to handle a myriad of subjects at the college level. So we'll notice that for grade levels, K through 8, they use specific individual grade level standards, and then for high school, 9 through 10 and 11 through 12, they have what's called grade bands, which it's basically just is a little bit more freer and looser of a kind of school course design, and that lets high school teachers kind of use their own knowledge and intuition and background to create their curriculum. Common Core focuses on results rather than means. Again, that goes back to that kind of implementation of a myriad of different strategies to teach students, but having the ultimate goal be in line with the Common Core standards. They want an integrated model of literacy, and also an integration of kind of digital literacy as well, so teaching students how to use kind of online research and media skills that might be like PowerPoint, word processors, things of that nature. And lastly, we all have shared responsibility for students' literacy development. It is not just, it's not just a weight borne on the shoulders of English teachers, but rather everyone that falls under that kind of ELA umbrella. And this is a really interesting little graphic down here. So Here, the National Assessment of Educational Progress, or NAEP, gives us this framework of kind of a percentage and grade level of how much they want kind of literary resources that they want students to read. And then over here on the right, information category, the percentage of informational text that should be integrated throughout the year as well. So for 8th grade, let's just say they want about 45% literary text read throughout the school year and about 55% information. And we can kind of see as students progress in grade level, the amount of the percentage of informational text they're expected to read goes up quite significantly. But let's go on for the time being. So next, we opened up this Anchor Standards, and we're just going to click on the top one, the College and Career Readiness. Again, that's CCR Anchor Standards for reading. And have it for reading and writing, for speaking and listening, and also just readiness anchor standards for language in general. So in each kind of section, they're going to outline the standards addressed in this particular strand or section, topic. So this one is for reading specifically, and it gives us kind of the key ideas and details or kind of expectations of what students should be able to accomplish in reading via the Common Core ELA standards. So, for instance, they need students to be able to read closely, to determine what a text say, determine central ideas and themes, analyze a text, both integrated and singularly as well, for craft and structure. So this points to kind of being able to identify how certain texts are configured and maybe specific aspects of text, like their sentences, paragraph use, how is a text divided? Is it divided by book, section, chapter, scenes, if it's a poem, stanzas, couplets, octaves, cinquains, things of that nature. And then lastly, kind of this integration. So how are we using the reading? How are we applying it? And they also, so next we're going to go to reading, and this is specifically for literature. Again, for our intent and purposes in this video, we're going to click on the ones for grades 9 through 10. Again, we have the standards in this specific section, key ideas. Students are expected to cite, to be able to cite textual evidence in support of their own analysis. They're supposed to determine meanings of words and phrases as they're used in the text, identify author purpose, how the author chooses to structure a text, and then for the integration of knowledge and ideas, one kind of aspect that Common Core lays out is analyzing how an author draws on and transforms source material in a specific work. Example, they say how Shakespeare treats a theme or topic from the Ovid or the Bible, or how later author draws on a play by Shakespeare. And then here's really nice. It kind of just gives you a brief overview of what's expected, the level of complexity that your 9th and 10th graders should be able to have read and comprehended and mastered by the end of grade 9. Again, same kind of deal we have for reading, the standards for informational text. You click on 9 through 10, it's right there as well. And then reading foundational skills. And you'll see here there's actually none for secondary education. It stops at grade 5, and that's because these are foundational skills. So these are skills students should have already mastered before coming to a secondary level education level. Next, we have writing, this writing tab, and again, we're going to hit 9 through 10. So this is going to lay out the writings and expectations for teachers and students about what needs to be taught, and then also what students are expected to be able to do in their writing. So this one is for kind of, you can think of this as almost like essay expectations for different genres. This is kind of for text in general. This is kind of an expectation essay outline for students who are analyzing informative or explanatory text. And then this one is for the outline standards for writing narratives, either real or imagined experiences, and kind of the techniques students can employ to do that. And then this is for teachers, production and distribution of writing. Well, teachers and students, really, to make sure that we as teachers are producing clear and coherent writing to our students and giving them appropriate tasks and teaching to our appropriate audience as well. And lastly, we have speaking and listening, language, standard 10, range, quality, and complexity. And again, this is kind of the speaking and listening expectations, and you find that for all grade levels as well. Lastly, we have the ELA appendices, which are clickable links to PDF documents in English Language Arts. Appendix A, it will talk about and outline kind of the research elements supporting Common Core standards. Appendix B is will give you a huge variety of lists for text exemplars and sample performance tasks for all grade levels. And then lastly, Appendix C will give you samples of student writing, so teachers can know and see kind of what the standards are and what the expectations are for students' writing abilities and what that looks like. This has been a tour of the Common Core State Standards Initiative website. Thank you, and see you next time.